right, now let's get to Mr. Okoro-Addo Ablakwa, who joins us over the phone with the latest in this service auto group, revelation. Now, Mr. Okoro-Addo Ablakwa, we know what you've shared so far. This company was given a contract to maintain the 307 ambulances bought by the Akufo-Addo administration at a time when they weren't even yet registered as a company. Subsequently, they were seen using one of the ambulances to cart cement, but that didn't stop the finance minister at the time, Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, in February this year, authorizing payments of $10 million to this company as part of a larger $34 million arrangement for spare parts for these 307 ambulances. We know that. We also know that the Auditor General said that this company had been consistently over-invoicing and that they were not even using their own staff to do the job that they were charging government money for. They were using government staff, Ghana Ambulance Service staff, to do it. We know that. But what's new?
Well, thank you, Kojo. Good morning to you, to Winston, and to all the listeners of Joy FM. So, clearly, Kojo, when you go through the blockbuster developments surrounding this company, how they are being favored, how all the laws are being breached and set aside so they can have their way, you look at the colossal sums of monies they are receiving. Between 2020 and 2023, they were paid a whopping 115 million Ghana cedis. And that is aside the $34.9 million they have just earned. And when you consider the fact that the Honorable Ken Ofori-Atta insisted that he needs to approve this and instruct that $10 million out of the $34.9 million is paid this company. Clearly, this must be a very special company. And so that got me digging further. I wanted to really pierce the veil and find out who are the real owners, who are those behind this company. And today I can disclose to you, Kojo, that the findings are very, 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 very startling, very shocking indeed. It has emerged that a key director of this company, the Service Ghana Auto Company Limited, is a long-time business partner of the president's daughters, two of the president's daughters. Indeed, the documents that I have intercepted, and corporation documents, reveal that the director, called Stephen Okoro, is a director in another company that the two of them, that is Stephen Okoro and Jan Kroma Akufo-Addo, own. That company is known as SFO Initiatives Limited, and they have been running this company since August 9, 2013. Now, that is not all. When the president won the 2016 elections, they got even more busy. On the 12th of August 2020, they incorporated another company called Good Box Limited. And this company has Jan Kroma Akufo-Addo, Edwina Akufo-Addo as directors. Stephen Okoro features again, this time as company secretary. And interestingly, another appointee of the president at the time, Mr. Kelly Gadgetbo, is a shareholder in that company, the company known as Good Box Limited. So this was incorporated on the 12th of August 2020. And then 8 days after, on the 20th of August, they incorporated another company known as Good Grow Limited. Good Grow Limited. Again, directors Jan Kroma Akufo-Addo, Edwina Akufo-Addo, and the company secretary Stephen Okoro. And Good Grow Limited was incorporated right after the legalization of cannabis. If you look at their principal activity, they say that they are going to be growing cannabis for cannabidiol, a pharmaceutical product. So clearly, this is another case of conflict of interest, insider dealing. The Honorable Akufo-Addo was clearly motivated to do this because of familial interest. Clearly, wanting the business associate of his nieces, the president's daughters, to be satisfied. And that is what the documents are pointing to. I'm not making this up. And things are beginning to make sense now. Why, despite an explosively damning Auditor General's report, which even says that this company, Service Ghana Auto Company Limited, rather should refund money to Ghana. It should be refunding money to Ghana. They have engaged in over-invoicing, a company that should have been blacklisted. And yet, Ken Akufo-Addo, before his reshuffle leaving the Ministry of Finance, insisted that this deal ought to be finalized before he leaves the ministry. Things are now very clear to us. It is now very, very, very obvious why Service Ghana Auto Company Limited appears so untouchable. They have whatever they want, even when others are not being paid, when there is bankruptcy, there is economic crisis. You just tell that they have a preferential treatment when you assess all the documentation, how they even came by this contract. And if you consider the fact that this is a country with authorized auto dealers, even if it's Mercedes-Benz ambulances, we have authorized dealers. All of them were bypassed. They were not even allowed to compete. This was an uncompetitive, arrangement. So things are now very, very clear to us after the parliamentary oversight we have conducted. It is obvious that this is another, conflict of interest transaction. And it is sad that this is coming under a president who promised us that he will not run a government of family and friends, and that he will really separate, business interests from the governance of our country. This is really, really damning. And I am glad that...
Hello. I think do we have Mr. Okoro Ablakwa?
Since we've lost him.
That's a pity. But I think we got the highlights, right? The additional information is that there are at least 3 companies that connect the daughters of the president to one of the directors of this service auto company, which has just received in February a massive payment, part of a $34 million payment to maintain the 307 ambulances, in spite of a rather sketchy, track record in the execution of that contract. Do we have Mr. Okoro Ablakwa back on the line?
Yeah, hello?
Oh, yes, there you are. I think we lost you temporarily. Yeah. So you're completing your points.
Yes. So I was saying that I can confirm to you that the latest information, the documentation we have gathered on this matter, all the conflict of interest links, the familial connections, we have added it to the petition we have submitted to the Office of the Special Prosecutor. And we hope that the Office of the Special Prosecutor will be allowed the free hand to look into this matter. What we are aiming to achieve initially, very quickly, is to stop that imminent additional payment. You know that out of the $34.9 million, $10 million has been paid. They are about to pay the balance of $24.9 million. And we want the special prosecutor to take urgent steps to stop that payment. At the end of the day, it's about protecting the public purse. That's what. If you look at our health sector, if it's really about spending $34.9 million, the health sector, there's so many other priorities, lack of MRIs, lack of X-rays, lack of incubators. We still have the no-bed syndrome. There are many hospitals struggling to cope without lab equipment and all of that. Health practitioners are complaining on a daily basis. It's increasing about the total neglect, the re-equipping that our hospitals need. So this is money we can save for our doctors and nurses, to have the equipment, the tools that they need to save lives. It can be any of us who will need urgent health care, and we don't want the dissipation of our resources to continue. And that's why one of the reliefs we are seeking at the OSP is that, look, if you add the Auditor General's report of 2022 to what is happening now, all the findings we have made, how, when you break it down, it's $113,000 for spare parts per ambulance, money that can be used to buy an entirely new, fully equipped ambulance. We cannot sit idle and allow all the payments to be made to this company, which, as the Auditor General has revealed, does not even guarantee value for money. So that is the very pressing demand we are making of the OSP to take steps to stop the imminent additional payment of $24.9 million. Unfortunately, we couldn't catch this early enough, so we couldn't stop the $10 million. But at least we should be able to stop the $24.9 million. And I hope that all Ghanaians, you in the media, everybody will rise and demand an end to this hemorrhage.
Now, just before you go, very, very briefly in a minute, I'm deliberately asking this question because just listening to this, so one of the directors has other businesses with the children of the president. Is this in itself a crime or is it illegal?
I haven't said it is a crime. I am drawing a linkage, an association. These are clearly business partners. And we are seeing that when it comes to Service Ghana Auto Company Limited, they don't play by the rules as all other companies. Something must explain that. Why is it that they are given contracts? I would even call it contract. They are asked to come take over the maintenance of our services 4 months before they are incorporated. They are asked to work 8 months. They are paid 8 months before they sign a contract with government. I mean, where does that happen? I mean, which other company under the sun will get these terms? And no recourse to the procurement laws, no recourse to our Company Act. And you look at the kinds of conduct they have engaged in, over invoicing. They are not using their own staff. And yet, instead of this company being sanctioned, other companies would have been sanctioned. The Auditor General is saying that this is a company that should be refunding money to the government. Other companies will have been blacklisted. Why is it that this company keeps going strong? They just don't care, and they and their allies in government, particularly the finance minister, will go the extra mile, to just make payments to this company and give this company the special dispensation that it is enjoying above our laws. So clearly, there's a lot of influence peddling here. There's a lot of insider dealing here. There is a lot of discrimination, favoritism, which really, if you look at the literature on corruption, which includes nepotism, cronism, corporatocracy, it's all part of corruption. It's all part of corruption. And that is why the OSP must be, because its mandate is to also look at corruption-related offenses and look at all of the factors at play. And you see clear evidence of nepotistic, corruption at play.
Right. Okay. I want to thank you very much for that update. And of course, if there's more, no doubt you will be sharing. And that is, that is the Honorable Member of Parliament for North Tongue, Mr. Samuel Okudzeto Blakwa, with the latest there on the revelations he's been putting out regarding the contract to maintain the 307 ambulances that were purchased by the Akufo-Addo administration in 2018.
So, Kojo, I mean, we all do, I beg your pardon, we all know that the Auditor General was very clear that this particular company, Service Ghana Auto Group Limited, now, they did not have the expertise in the first place. They actually signed a contract when they were not incorporated. They worked 8 months, got paid before signing the memorandum with the National Ambulance Service.
Yep.
Now imagine this. This is a company that uses the ambulance services service stations, including its staff,
Yep.
who are on the payroll of the ambulance service,
Yes.
to work on these ambulances, and then bills the National Ambulance Service.
And they pay on time.
Yes. So it's good that a member of parliament.
By the way, they don't just bill them; they over-invoice them.
Yes,
according
because
to the
according to the Auditor General. Yeah. So it's good that the honourable member of parliament is petitioning the Office of the Special Prosecutor, and I know that the Office of the Special Prosecutor would act with speed in ensuring that no payments are made again. And the Auditor General, the issues with this Auditor General, somebody should have been surcharged by now to pay back. You disallow the expenditure and surcharge somebody to pay back to the state. Yeah. Don't just go and recover. What's that?
This Auditor General doesn't seem to believe in the use of that power as much as his predecessor did. Yeah. But it's something we need to talk about. Now we know what comes next. The Special Prosecutor has been petitioned. But is that it? Is that all we can do here? That 10 million, I want it back.
Of course.
I want it back.